You took out a full-page ad in major U.S. newspapers last year criticizing U.S. foreign policy. What would you do differently, Donald?
I'd make our allies, forgetting about the enemies you can't talk to so easily, I'd make our allies pay their fair share. We're a debtor nation. Something's going to happen over the next number of years with this country, because you can't keep going on losing $200 billion, and yet we let Japan come in and dump everything right into our markets and everything. It's not free trade. If you ever go to Japan right now and try to sell something, forget about it, Oprah. Just forget about it. It's almost impossible. They don't have laws against it. They just make it impossible. They come over here, they sell their cars, their VCRs, they knock the hell out of our companies. And hey, I have tremendous respect for the Japanese people. I mean, you can respect somebody that's beating the hell out of you, but they are beating the hell out of this country. Kuwait, they live like kings. The poorest person in Kuwait, they live like kings. And yet they're not paying. We make it possible for them to sell their oil. Why aren't they paying us 25% of what they're making? It's a joke.
Guys, I've never seen someone as consistent as President Trump. The video you guys are watching is from 40 years ago. So basically for 40 years, President Trump has been saying the same thing. Other countries are taking advantage of America. Other countries are taking advantage of America.
Sounds like political presidential talk to me. And I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
Probably not, but I do get tired of seeing the country ripped off.
Why would you not?
I just don't think I really have the inclination to do it. I love what I'm doing. I really like it.
Also, it doesn't pay as well.
No, it doesn't. But, you know, I just probably wouldn't do it, Oprah. I probably wouldn't, but I do get tired of seeing what's happening with this country. And if it got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally, because I really am tired of seeing what's happening with this country, how we're really making other people live like kings, and we're not.
This is the first time we have a president that has enough courage and competence to say, listen, this is not about the stock market today. This is not about America's economy today. This is about America's future. This is about our children's future.
You've said, though, that if you did run for president, you believe you'd win.
Well, I don't know. I think I'd win. I tell you what, I wouldn't go in to lose. I've never gone in to lose in my life. And if I did decide to do it, I think I'd be inclined, I would say that I would have a hell of a chance of winning, because I think people, I don't know how your audience feels, but I think people are tired of seeing the United States ripped off. And I can't promise you everything, but I can tell you one thing, this country would make one hell of a lot of money from those people that for 25 years have taken advantage. It wouldn't be the way it's been, believe me.
President Trump has been saying for years the trade deficit is too high. Today in 2025, the trade deficit is almost $1 trillion. $1 trillion. The trade deficit basically means you import more than you export. When you import non-American product, that creates competitions for American companies in America. So if you are not charging them, that means they're going to be able to sell their products here in America cheaper than the American companies. So basically, you are taking American companies out of business by not charging these countries, these companies, to sell their products in America. That's why President Trump is saying. And if you look, the taxes we have to pay in order to have access in those countries, other countries, a market, is impossible to even go sell your American products there. That's President Trump is saying, listen, if you're going to charge us X amount to have access to your market, we're going to do the same. Especially we in America, we have the best market in the world. Why wouldn't we charge them what they charge us? And the Democrats are calling that a trade war. This is common sense to me. If you say I have to pay you X amount in order to come sell my product to your country, well, hello, you have to pay me X amount as well in order to sell your product in my country. Again, that sounds like common sense. Why would I create more competitions for my own companies? Why? Without getting anything. And the Democrats have a problem with that, because the Democrats cannot think beyond the next election. The Democrats are not thinking 20, 30 years from today, how can we make lives better here in America? The Democrats are only thinking, how can we get your vote in the next election? So that's why they are using all these tariffs President Trump is putting, rightfully so, in these companies. They are calling it a trade war, but in reality, this is fair trade. If you charge us to have access to economy, we're going to do the same.
After that major announcement yesterday afternoon with at least 10% tariffs on on dozens of foreign countries. Trump's 25% auto tariffs covers more than $460 billion annually worth of imports of vehicles and other parts. It's only the tariff on vehicle imports now in place, with nearly 150 auto parts facing a May 3rd to take effect. And now we're seeing these reports of other countries talking about negotiating, right? Like Ontario's Premier Doug Ford. Take a listen to what he had to say.
We'd be willing to take those off tomorrow if he took all the tariffs off. We're willing to take these tariffs off like in the next minute if he said he's taking their tariffs off.
Now let's talk about the art of the deal. Let's talk about the deal maker. All these Democrats were calling it President Trump is starting a trade war. No, President Trump understands we in America, we have the best market. If we allow countries to have access to our market, they must pay a price.
Thailand's prime minister says, quote, "We have prepared several steps, including sending our permanent secretary to talk with them. I think we can still negotiate." And the deputy finance minister is saying we have to talk about which products they feel are unfair, and we have to see whether we can adjust. The Italian prime minister says she's going to do everything she can do to move forward with an agreement. Ireland's deputy prime minister saying he is committed to working with the president as well. Australia's prime minister condemned these tariffs, but says he is not going to reciprocate and he will negotiate. The European Union is now reacting too.
I love it, man. I love it. God bless America. God bless America.
We have always been ready to negotiate with the United States to remove the remaining barriers to transatlantic trade. At the same time, we are prepared to respond. We are already finalizing the first package of countermeasures in response to tariffs on steel. And we're now preparing for further countermeasures to protect our interests and our businesses if negotiations fail.
Other meltdowns continuing, a second straight weekend of anti-MAGA, anti-Trump protests. But, surprise, some of the demonstrators involved don't really seem to even know what they're so angry about. Watch this.
What are you here protesting?
All of it. I mean, there's nothing I agree with.
We're here standing for freedom.
I'd like to impeach Donald Trump.
Why?
Well, there's a myriad of reasons.
There's
You can't make this up, guys. You cannot make this up. You can't. Don't these people have jobs? I don't understand this, man. I don't understand. The Democrats right now, they are doing everything they can to stop the America First agenda. But anyway, guys, as always a pleasure to have you here. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button, the like button, of course. Let the algorithm know that you are rocking. You're rocking with me, and as I continue to call out all this craziness happening from the left. But anyway, you guys stay safe. I'll see you in the next video.